Let's go out to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and talk to the great and powerful Renee. What's up, Renee?
Hi, how are you?
Partying. How are you?
I'm great.
That's so good. What's up?
I'm currently in a relationship and we have a daughter, and there are some things that are said in front of her that I'm not a fan of during arguments. So I'm not sure if it's better for her for us to be together or not.
I don't even know what's being said, but I want to challenge the whole premise, okay?
Okay.
She cannot be the reason you leave your husband or don't leave your husband. She can't carry that kind of weight.
Right.
You have to choose. Am I with a man who is abusive and childish? And let's take her out of the equation. Almost 0% chance that he's perfect in every other way and your relationship is humming along, except for he says inappropriate things in front of your daughter. Fair?
Right.
So back out and be honest. Are you out of this relationship? Are you done?
Sometimes I feel that way.
Tell me about that.
It seems like things will go really well for a while and we communicate really well, and then all of a sudden something happens and it's a big argument that kind of lasts for days, and at that point I'm kind of it's hard for me to trust again that that's not going to continue to happen.
Of course, because it keeps continuing, right?
Yeah.
It keeps happening. Who is the adult who has the adult body but acts like a child and keeps an argument going on for days? Because that's a power move. That's not a let's solve this problem or you really hurt my feelings. That's a power move. That's a way to run a household by keeping a fight going on and on and on. Is that you that does that, or is that him?
I feel like it's him.
Would he tell me on the phone that it's you?
Yes.
So what is it that he's doing?
There's a lot of kind of insults and really harsh words that are kind of coming to me, and at that point I kind of
everything is all kind of. Let's just get right to the reality. He kind of is mean and kind of is the greatest ever. What does he say?
He'll say that I'm stupid and that there's other curse words that are being used and things in reference to me.
So as an adult, I choose to not be in a conversation or relationship with people that angrily swear at me on a regular basis.
Right.
I choose that. Why do you think so little of yourself that you haven't made that choice? Because that's a child.
Sure
that's a very childish thing to do.
Yeah.
To swear and curse at your wife when you're mad. That's what kids do, man.
Yeah.
Do you do it back?
No. I usually I kind of shut down and I'll try to walk away from the situation if that's happening, because I don't really want to deal with that, and I don't feel like that's going to produce a positive conversation.
Good for you. And then when you reestablish control in your relationship by walking away and choosing dignity over just getting berated, he chooses to sulk and just carry it on for days and weeks on end.
Yeah, he does not like the walking away.
Have you ever told him with a smile on your face, if you would stop swearing at me and cussing at me and telling me that was stupid, I wouldn't walk away? Actually, you know what? That gives him back. I want to flip that around. I said that wrong. I think the best way to say it is, no, I always have autonomy. And so I choose to not be around people who swear and curse at me. So if you swear and curse at me and throw a temper tantrum like a child, you are choosing for me to go away. And I get the message loud and clear.
Yeah, and this past week, I kind of, because we had a big fight last week like that, and I kind of set that boundary where I was if that's happening, I'm not going to be a part of it. It's not acceptable. I can't really continue in a relationship where that's going to happen.
All right, so you practice, you to use your words, you kind of put down a boundary. Then what happened? Did he say, oh, no, I didn't want that? Or did he say, yeah, that's right? Like, why are you calling? Do you think this thing's over?
Yeah, it's hard for me to like kind of let them go. So I feel like I hold on to some like anger and hurt from those types of situations.
You should hold on to anger and hurt. It's ugly. It's hard. That guy stood before you and God and your friends and said, I'm all in on you. And I will commit to service to you for the rest of our marriage. And you said the same to him.
Mm-hmm.
You don't follow that up with, you stupid, fill in the blank.
Yeah.
Even when you're mad, even when you're just incredibly angry, you don't talk like that.
Right. To me, like, I know if I'm kind of getting to a point where I'm angry and I can kind of pause on that and like come back to it later. And he tends to be very like explosive.
Yeah. Are you safe otherwise? Does he punch the wall or throw things at you?
No.
Do you push him so far and poke and prod and prod and poke and do things you know you're going to set him off?
I don't think so.
What would he say?
He says that sometimes that I like panic or get emotional too easily. And
That's so stupid. He doesn't get to say that. That's dumb. That's gaslighting 101.
Yeah. And
you
I think
scream and yell and call somebody stupid, you stupid blankety blank, 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 blanker. And then you start crying and it's like, oh my gosh, you're so emotional. It's so stupid.
That's what happens. It's kind of like, we'll just stop crying. Just talk normal. It's hard to do that after everything that was just said.
Yeah. I can't be the person that says, you're good, you're free to go. And your daughter can't be either.
Right.
And I know that leaving somebody with a young child creates a cascade of challenging situations.
Yeah.
But that little girl, as you probably rightfully know, is getting a ringside seat. She is downloading into her nervous system, this is what love and marriage looks like, and this is how a woman is to be treated by a man.
Right. And that's like the part that makes me feel like guilty. The
part that should make you feel guilty is the part that loves and cares for Renee. Deserves more. Because there's a little girl inside of you going, is this what we're worth? So, like, all that, like, kumbaya stuff, here's the deal. If I'm you, I would let my husband know, not in kind of terms. I've made an appointment next whatever for us to go see a marriage counselor or one of those 2-day, we're going to figure out at the end of this 2-day retreat. Terry Real does these across the country. Many therapists in many countries in many cities do this. We're coming in for 48 hours for a Friday night and an all-day Saturday, and we all agree at the end of that Saturday whether we're staying together or not. We're calling it. Like, do we have what it takes, or do we have the investment to work on this thing? And if we do, here's the behaviors that are going to change immediately, and here's what we're going to work for together, or I'm not into that. I don't want to work on that. And then, cool, we make an agreement at 5 o'clock on Saturday or noon on Sunday. We shake hands, and then we go to mediation. We call it. There's a lot of therapists that do that kind of program. I think that's where y'all are at.
I'd agree.
So I'd make the call. And remember this, behavior is a language. If he doesn't show up, he has told you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
If he says, I'm not going to some stupid marriage counselor to listen, I don't hear none of that. You're not going nowhere. Quit whining. He's told you everything you need to know. He's not invested in the future of this relationship. He is leaving by absence.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yes.
Guy just threw a lot at you. What are you feeling?
It makes me nervous to like kind of bring the idea up, but I like the idea of it.
Let me say this, Renee. The idea is out. I promise he's not sitting with his buddies right now being like, man, my wife is the best. My marriage is amazing.
Yeah.
He knows it's falling apart too. Or it's gone.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just takes somebody to say, I'm willing to rebuild if you are. And that doesn't mean, great, there's still a lot of construction that has to be done. And a lot of remodeling and a lot of excavation has to be done. But if you both say you're in, you're in. So it just takes somebody to say it out loud. If he came back, if y'all went to a counseling session, he said, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I've done this all sideways. I'm willing to do it to be different. Would that give you peace? Would you be like, awesome, I'm in? Or are you done with him? Has he said things? He says he said things that you can't come back from. I'm not judging either way. I just want to know.
Like, I think I could be totally in, but I feel like it's still going to take me some time to kind of trust that that's not going to just be the same thing.
That's fair. Very good. Very cool. And if he wants to call in, have him call in. I'd love to hear his side of the of this story. Or if y'all want to call in together, I'd love to hear that side too. But yeah, you've heard me say this a million times, and I'll probably say it a million more before the show's over. This is a moment when you got to turn the lights on, turn the music off, and say, okay, this is the state of our marriage. You talk to me this way, and I will not have that anymore. You think I'm the most annoying, this and that, and this and that from these behaviors. We got to solve this thing. You don't like being the dad of a young daughter. I don't like being in a house where people are screaming and we're teaching our daughters what love looks like. All those things have to be said. And y'all also have to recognize us too, we don't have the tools in our toolkits to solve this moving forward because we would have done that by now. We got to go sit with a professional. I've made an appointment. If you're in, it's on Friday. Will you join me? I hope you will. And that's how this goes, man. And he can say, no, I'm out. And you probably need to see that counselor anyway, because there's going to need to be somebody that walks alongside you through whatever comes next. But all said and done, you're not crazy for not wanting to be around somebody that swears and curses at you and calls you stupid. And he's probably not crazy for getting frustrated at whatever. The question is, can we go back to the way things were? The way things were are over. Are we both in to building something completely new? My hope is y'all choose yes. But if it's too far gone, it's too far gone. Be honest. Be bold. Be a person of integrity as you make your next steps.